Namaste, YouTube coven. Welcome back to the mat and welcome to day 3 of our 12 days of Witchmas yoga journey. Over the next 12 days, we are exploring our magic through movement with these 20-minute flows, dedicating some time to ourselves during the chaos of December and this kind of festive season. So in today's practice, hips and heart, we are going to release any kind of unwanted energy that we're holding into those hips and the hearts. We're going to start to create some much needed space and, as always, find some much needed movement and breath and peace during the festive season. So today's practice is going to be really, really gorgeous, and we're going to begin at the back of our mat in a child's pose. So you're going to bring the big toes to touch, take the knees about hips width apart, and just closing the eyes for a moment. Bringing the hands to the tops of the thighs. We're just going to find a little bit of movement from side to side. So starting to really tune into that connection between our hips and our heart. You might become very aware now of how the lower body is feeling. You might become aware of how the spiritual body is feeling, the heart is feeling. And then you're going to start to relax the chest down, walking the hands forward, maybe bringing the forehead down to the earth. Coming into our child's pose with a beautiful deep breath in through the nose. And a slow breath all the way out. So maybe it's your third day coming to the mat and flowing with me. Maybe it's your first time ever. It does not matter. We give ourselves acknowledgement and gratitude for taking time during this busy season to find movement, to find magic, and to take care of our mind. Now, as I said, today's practice is focused on the hips and the heart, working through some really gorgeous transitions and then playing around with some long hold poses so we can focus on creating some much needed space. So before we go any deeper into the practice, I invite you here to set an intention for today's practice. Setting it in the mind and then sealing it with your breath. And before we walk the hands back towards the knees on your inhale, we're going to roll the body up. Exhale, sit back onto the heels now. Today we're going to work through some of my favourite modified sun salutations. So we're working through some really back bending, hip opening poses. So what we're going to do, work through 5 rounds, watching me for a second. On our inhale, we'll lift up into a mini camel pose. On your exhale, we'll come to child's pose. Inhale, we'll round into the spine to cat. Exhale, we'll come to dog. Inhale, round it back to cat. Exhale to child's. Inhale to camel. And then exhale to sit down. Some of my favourite movement that I've done this year on the mat. So, working through 5 rounds together, meeting me in this hero's pose, we're going to bring the hands to prayer. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. And a slow breath out. On your next inhale, we lift all the way up into a mini camel pose. Pull the hands back. Exhale, sink hips to heel, hands forwards. Child's pose. Inhale, round into the spine as you roll the body to a tabletop cat. Exhale, tuck your toes under. Meet me in down dog. Inhale, roll back to cat. Exhale to child's. Inhale to camel. Exhale to heroes. Round 2. Inhale, lift. Exhale, child. Inhale, round to cat. Exhale, lift to dog. Inhale, round to cat. Exhale, child. Inhale, lift to camel. Exhale to hero's pose. Keep it going. Round 3. Inhale, camel. Exhale, child. Inhale, cat. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, round it back to cat. Exhale, child. Inhale to camel. Exhale to heroes. Round 4, feeling that heat in the body, feeling that space you're creating. Inhale, lift to camel. Exhale to child. Inhale, round to cat. Exhale, lift to dog. Inhale, round to cat. Exhale, beautiful movements. We come to child. Inhale, lift to camel. Exhale, hips to heel in hero's pose. Beautiful movements. One more round. Inhale, camel. Exhale, child. Inhale to cat. Exhale to dog. Inhale, round to cat. Exhale to child. Inhale to camel. Exhale, meet in hero's pose. Maybe you relax the hands back to the thighs. Feeling that sense of warmth, which is that space that you've immediately created into the physical body, that sense of peace you've invited into the spiritual. Now from here, we're going to start to roll the body into a tabletop, and I invite you to find a little bit of freedom of movement. So maybe you take some circles or some waves. Anything that feels good to you. You might even choose to come on to the fingertips. Taking it for one more breath. Beautiful. Before we relax onto the hands, drop to the forearms, and we're going to extend the legs behind us. We're going to immediately come into a gorgeous crocodile pose. So kind of allowing that lower spine to relax. We're going to bring the big toes to touch. Use those hands, little pillow. Maybe you rest onto the forehead, onto the side of the head here. Feeling that heartbeat against the earth. Feeling the heaviness of the hips. Now from here, we're going to move into some long hold poses. So really start to find that stretch. Starting to kind of gently push past our boundaries. So from here, you're going to start to bend into the knees, taking the feet to the sky, and take some ankle rolls in one direction. Take some ankle rolls in the other. Beautiful. Before we relax the feet down, about hips width apart, and from here, we're going to lift up into a Sphinx pose. Now, from Sphinx pose, we're going to start to move into our swaying locust pose. So you're going to bend into the left leg. Now, you might choose to stay here, Or you can lift the right hand up and take hold of that left foot. Now what we're going to do is take a deep breath in. Remember, you don't have to have the bind. On your breath out, guide the left foot over to the right hand side and extend that left arm. So you're coming into a really deep twist here. You do not have to find the bind. You just want to focus on pulling that right left foot away from you, witches. Breathing into the space of the belly. It is a deep twist for the spine and a hell of a hip opener. 10 more breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. My apologies if you can hear my black cat eating his food just off camera. Taking a deep breath in. Breath out. You're going to release that bind as you lift the left leg to the sky and roll the body back into the center. Come on to the forearms in Sphinx. Now we're going to take it to the other side. Apologies about my mic. You're going to bend into the right leg, pointing the toes to the sky. Option to simply step right foot over to the left hand side, or you reach behind with that left arm. Taking a deep breath in, breath out. We guide it over to the left hand side, walk the right hand forwards. Ten breaths. Push that foot away from me if you have the bind. Keep breathing into the space of the belly. Remembering today's practice is all about finding release into the hips and into the heart. Taking a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Beautiful. If you have hold that foot, Coven, relax the bind. And this time we're going to meet back in crocodile, big toes to touch, using those hands as a pillow, and give the hips a wiggle. You might feel a little bit of breathlessness because it's such an intense twist. Maybe it's just me. Beautiful. On your next inhale, we're going to slide the hands next to us, relax the feet and lift up into a gorgeous upward facing dog, creating length through the crown of the head, so don't constrict the spine. Allow the crown chakra to shine towards the sky. Taking a deep breath in. Breath out. We're going to cross the ankles behind us as we move first through a seated pose, and then we're going to slide hips to heels, rolling back into the mat and hug the knees towards the chest. So for the next few poses, you can modify as much as you like. You can work with a block or some pillows. But what we're going to do is we're going to lift into a shoulder stand, and then we're going to lift into plow pose, so where the feet come over the head. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can simply extend the legs to the sky in a waterfall pose, maybe placing a block underneath the hips. Modify as much as you like for your practice. I'm just going to pop the microphone off for a second, or it's going to sound horrific. If you want to take the shoulder stand, the plow, you can walk up a wall as well. We're going to inhale to lift the legs to the sky. The hands come to support the hips. And then flex into the feet as you gently relax the feet up and over. They can come hip width apart. You can interlock the fingertips behind you. But we're going to aim to hold it here for about 10 breaths. Now I know plow pose is intense. It's a beautiful balance to the back bends we've been doing. But if it feels too much for the neck, there's absolutely no worries. Come on out of it. holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From plow pose, take hold of the hips, and all we're doing is rolling the body vertebrae by vertebrae into the mat and hugging the knees towards the chest. One final hip stretch. Come to meet me in happy baby pose, either taking hands underneath the knees or take hold of the outside of the feet, but roll shoulder blades away from the ears, press the lower spine to the mat. Drawing the legs a little bit closer to you, final few breaths. Before we bring feet to touch, we bring knee to touch, and then relax the feet to the mat, finding some windscreen wiper movement from side to side. Easing out the hips. Now on your next inhale, we're going to stretch out the legs, float the arms up and overhead, coming into a beautiful full body stretch. On your exhale, slide your hands and your feet over to the left-hand corners of your mat. Imagining you're just breathing into the right-hand side of the body. Take a deep breath in. Breath out, loves. We untangle the legs, move through center, and then send hands and feet over to the right-hand corners. Inhale. On your next exhale, we're going to bring the body back into the center. Relax your arms by your side, palms flip to the sky, and then bend into the knees, bringing the knees to touch and walking the feet about hips width apart. Ending our practice in a few final moments of complete stillness. Remembering always that the most important pose in all of yoga is Savasana, is understanding that yoga is a spiritual journey and not a physical one. Tapping in to the spiritual body now, start to reflect on your practice, the intention you set, how you're feeling now, the physical aspect is done. And as always, giving yourself gratitude for stepping onto this journey. Even if it's for one day, give yourself that acknowledgement for taking 20 minutes out of the kind of festive carnage to take care of you, your mind, your body, your soul. And as always, if you need a little bit longer to find stillness, to find peace, you can stay here, maybe press pause and allow yourself to stay as long as your soul needs. If you're ready to come out with me, start to find some movement with the fingers, with the toes. And then allow the knees to fall to one side of your mat. Lifting the body into a comfortable seated position. We roll shoulders from the ears, bring hands to prayer at heart center, blinking the eyes open into the room. Closing the practice by bringing thumbs between the eyebrows and bowing low. With love, gratitude, and Witchmas blessings to ourselves, to those who joined us, and from me to you, thanking you for allowing me to guide you through day 3 of our 12 days of Witchmas journey. Thanking you so much, my darlings. As always, if you enjoyed today's practice, I would so appreciate maybe a little like or a subscribe to my channel. And if you are looking to explore your relationship between yoga and witchcraft and mental health, then I invite you to take a look at my membership area called Magic Through Movement, where we flow up to 5 hours every month, focusing on a new theme and focusing on our journey, our relationship with witchcraft, with yoga, and with our mental health. So you can find out more about the Magic Through Movement memberships in the description box below. But thanking you so very much, and I look forward to meeting you back here again tomorrow for day 4. Blessed be, witches.